Hey, it's Joel from the Traveler Toolkit, and today we're doing a follow-up video to one of our most popular videos of 2024 about hammock camping. We did a review video of a lay-flat hammock that was also a tent from Nightcat. A lot of you had a lot to say about that video, about hammock camping in particular, a lot of questions. And so I thought it'd be really cool to do a follow-up video about a similar but different product from Nightcat. They reached out and I said this would be a great fit for a video this summer. It's more of a traditional hammock, but it's also got lots of great accessories we're gonna take a look at today. We've got an insulating pad, we've got a mattress, and we've got a sleeping bag that all go with it. So stick with me, we're gonna unpack everything, put it in these trees, and see if it's a good fit for you and the way you camp. All right, so let's get things started by taking this hammock out of the package. We've got these two trees here, and I measured them out. I believe it's about 13 or 14 feet to the outside of the trunks. That's what's recommended by Nightcat. This is supposed to be 4 to 5 meters apart, so we're right in there. If you're measuring in feet, 4 to 5 meters, I believe 4 meters is around 13 feet. And they want you to put it 1.4 meters high at minimum, which is about 5 feet. So we're gonna follow those guidelines and make sure we install it correctly. Opening the bag is pretty simple. Now it comes with a tiny little instruction manual in lots of different languages. So make sure you pick the language that's correct for you and give that a look before you get started. And so inside the bag, we've got the hammock itself. This is the hammock tent portion, and then we've also got a little bag of goodies with all of our stakes and ropes and everything in there. Let's go ahead and open that so you can see what's inside. So we've got strap number 1. This is going to strap it to one side of the tree. Strap number 2, this is going to strap it to the other side of the tree. And we've got some stakes here. These are good looking stakes, kind of like anodized aluminum, really lightweight, not gonna rust. And we're gonna use these as we stake down our rain fly, I'm assuming. So we'll just see as we go along. It says we're supposed to have some carabiner clips and some rope in here, which I don't see, so I'm gonna have to dig it out. Let's see if I can find it. So there's a reason it wasn't inside the bag. The ropes are attached to the tent, which is on top of the hammock. So don't go looking for those, they're already here. And then the same for the carabiners. The carabiners are already hooked in like this to the hammock itself, which will make it easy to attach the straps there. These are gonna be your attachment points, and this is gonna be your rain fly on top. So it looks to me like everything is already assembled. It's all in one piece. All right, so let's go ahead and get things started by putting our straps around the tree. Now, when you look at these straps, you'll notice there is one end that has a single loop on it, and another end that has a single loop plus continuous loops all the way down, you know, probably for 2.5, 3 feet of section. What you want to make sure that you do is you want to make sure that you are putting this loop toward your hammock. That way you have all these different options for your carabiners to lock into to get the perfect width between your trees. So you want to wrap the end with one loop, and you want to have the continuous loop or the multiple loop end hanging out towards your hammock. So it does say that if you have room, you should wrap this strap around your tree twice, but if you don't, one time will suffice. So we have large trees, I've already checked this, we're only gonna be able to go around them once, and I think we have just the perfect space between the trees. So let's go ahead and get these wrapped around, leaving this multiple loop section toward the center, which will be where our hammock clips in. Just trying to work it up the back of the tree here. Make sure that we are at least 5 feet up. And I'm gonna loop, stick this through the loop, and pull it tight around the tree so it kind of stays in place. All right, kind of work it back. And I want this section right here in the middle of the tree. That's the goal. So we've got our multiple loops hanging out here. Let's go ahead and do that again. I don't really know the approved method for this. I'm just trying to whip it around. Okay, go up about 5 feet. Yeah, trying to make sure that they're up about the same height. Again, I'm just kind of working it up a little bit. Here we go. Cinching it down toward the center of the tree here. There we go. And we've got our multi-loop section hanging toward the middle. So now all we have to do is get our hammock. And like I said, the hammock is already attached to the rain fly and everything. Your carabiners are right here, so it should be pretty easy to attach. Now I'm gonna go as far in as I can to start things up, so I'm gonna go all the way to the last loop and hook it on here. There we go. And I believe this black section is the bottom. So there we are, hooked in. Looks like we've got a good hang, a good distance. We're all the way up on the highest setting, so that's good because we can't go any further. But yeah, you want to make sure that everything looks good with the height of your hammock. And actually I see this side feels a little low, so I'm going to raise this on my tree while I have the opportunity. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, then odds are you're going to enjoy all the other videos I post on this channel about camping, the outdoors, RVing. There's lots of great content coming. So if you're not already, consider subscribing to the channel and give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Okay, with a little bit of work, I was able to get this around the tree twice. It is just barely big enough, and I think that makes everything a lot more tight here, gonna give us a better hammock experience. And you can see, this is the regular part of the hammock down here below and the rain fly on top. So let's go ahead and get in and test this thing before we start staking everything down. Make sure we like the way it hangs. I'm in, pretty comfortable. We're far away from the ground. I wish we had a little more distance between these trees. We're kind of right at the minimum of that 4 meter mark, 13, 14 feet. So I'd say the longer you have, the more taut this is gonna be. But honestly, I think it's more about what do you prefer? More of a swoop or more of a tight fit? So yeah, looks good. And this fabric down below seems really breathable, really comfy on first try. All right, now let's go ahead and put our stakes in. We will stake down the corners of the rain fly with the ropes that are already included on it so we can get this kind of nice wide look that gives us that tent feel. Okay, we've got our back two on. And so one thing I'm noticing is that these cords or bungees have quite a bit of give to them. That's nice to be able to help you pull them tight and work with them, but it's a little harder to get it tight. So you might need to bring this further away from the hammock than you might think. My guess is, haha, I just thought of this, they're probably bungee like this because your hammock is going to move and it's gonna need some of that tensile strength to kind of account for the sway of the hammock. So if you've never used these before, here's how they work. Really simple little design here. All you do is grab one section and pull the loop out. You want to make sure it's the furthest section, and you simply pull this out. And as you pull on it, that creates a little lock. See that little lock right there? That creates a lock on your bungee. That tension is going to hold it in place. So you create this loop by pulling out the bottom section here. In our case, I'm kind of pulling them all the way up so it's as short as it possibly can get within this area here. There we go. And then I'm bringing my stakes out just kind of as wide as I can. All right. And voila, there you go. We've got our rain hammock. You'll see that it's got this string holding everything tight up top so it doesn't lay down on you. I'm gonna get you off the tripod and show you this a little closer, but you can kind of see it's a little bit of a windy day today. We've got a little bit of breeze blowing and these are giving way and kind of moving with the hammock, so that's really good. They're doing their job. All right, so here you can see everything set up the way it should be. We've got our lines running out for the rain fly in all 4 directions. We've got our straps around the trees and our rain fly is properly hanging out. Now, one extra step you can do to kind of tighten things up is here on the side. You've got these buttons, little buttons right there, and they clasp together to kind of tighten up everything so that nothing gets inside. You can kind of see it just kind of flaps in the breeze without that. So you definitely want to snap these up for a tighter fit. And as we pull back the curtain here, you'll see there is a ventilation section on the top of the hammock. So you've got enough room for airflow. There's really a nice space down here below the hammock where you can see everything kind of allowing air to come in and no rain to get through. And I'll save you a little bit of time. There is only one set of zippers. There is not a set on one side and then a set on the other side. There is one set for the entire rainfly. So if you want in, you have to locate those two zippers. Now, let's try to give you a look from inside. All right, so this is a look from inside the tent. I've got a little bit of sway going on here, but those bungees out there actually keep me pretty tight. You've got this, I guess a valuables pouch or a storage pouch that's hanging from the top. And then there's another one, just a smaller one here. That would look good for a phone. And then you've got these along the sides. You can always unzip this and tie this up. So you've got loops and then the little cross latches there, so you can unzip this bug fly, I guess is what I would call it, and tie it up there in those spots if you prefer. But it's nice, you get a little bit of light that comes in, but obviously you're protected from the rain. It sets really comfortably. I mean, traditional hammock, very comfortable. And then when you want out, you just have to locate that one zipper. That may be something that I wish I had two zippers, but yeah, there you go. You can unzip pretty easily, get out, stick your legs out, and you're gone. And I will say, sitting here with your feet out like this underneath the rainfly is pretty comfy and cozy. If it were a rainy day, you could sit here under the shelter, take it in the hammock, and just kind of enjoy things. All right, so now that the hammock is set up, let's start stacking accessories on here because we've got quite a few, and my favorite has got to be this foot pump inflatable mattress. Inside here, there is a little slot in the bottom of the hammock that allows you to slide this mattress in there, and you don't need any kind of pump or anything with this mattress. It comes right out of the bag, and it's got a little foot pump built in so that you can just inflate this mattress, stick it in your hammock, and go. So let's go ahead and get it out, see how well it works. It's got an elastic strap around it. Unraveling it here so we can see on one end, you've kind of got your air discharge. We want to close that. And on the other end, we've got our kind of foot pump. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen one of these before, but basically this is like, I would call it a sponge inside here. And the way it works is you unplug this, and as you pump on this sponge, it reinflates and allows air to go in. So I'm gonna put this on the ground, and we're gonna go ahead and start pumping this thing up and see how easily it inflates with just your foot. I quickly found that it's a little easier with two hands, and I can already see with just a half a dozen pumps, it's starting to fill the whole mattress. Wow, you can kind of see this design almost like a honeycomb here, and you wanna just watch how full you're filling this. You might not want it completely full. I think we need a little bit more air, so I'm gonna keep going just for a few more. All right, I think that's probably good. So then obviously when you're done pumping, you just wanna close this hole here. And yeah, I think two hands worked better than the feet that they suggested. So this is on the foot, and then up top, you have a little pillow. Like I said, you might want to put less air in this once you get it in the hammock to feel it, but let's go ahead and stick it in the slot, see how that feels. And I'm already wondering how I'm gonna show you that under there. So let's give it a try. Gonna take the rainfly off on this side for a second. Oh yeah, that works. Okay, so this is perfect. The wind is kind of showing you the inside of the hammock here, but you see this soft, stretchy portion here in the middle? This is our mattress slot, and up top there is a kind of like a hood. If you pull the hood up, you'll find this little elastic kind of button there. You undo that, and this is the hole in which your mattress is supposed to go. So let's try to get the mattress into this flexible hole. And again, we're gonna obviously put this toward the head, so you wanna insert the part with the pump first. Okay, not as hard as I thought to start. Just kind of work it in. Find it's a little easier if you kind of fold it in half like a taco and then shove it in there. And then we can open it up once it's all the way in. How's that for using your brain? Yeah. Oh, it kind of unfolded itself all the way in. I'm not 100% sure, but this head portion here doesn't really fit into the slot. It just kind of wants to set out like this. So I think that's probably the way it's supposed to be. So we're gonna go with that just like it is. And now it's laying flat all by itself. Now I wanna try it. I wanna get in here. Whoa! Okay, so I've never been in a hammock with a pillow before, and this is a pretty exciting idea. I do think that I'm gonna have to let some air out of this. And the nice thing is the air outlet is right here behind me. So all I'm gonna do is pull. Too much, maybe don't set in it while you let the air out of it. Definitely inflate the mattress less than you think you need to and go from there. But this cool mattress pad is just one of many accessories you can put on this hammock. Let's say you're camping in the spring or fall or even winter if you're hardcore and you need to stay as warm as you possibly can. Well, they actually make an Under-Hammock Quilt that attaches to the underside of the hammock to keep you extra warm and insulated. So let's go ahead and open this up and see how it mounts. Yeah, okay. So it's basically just a sleeping bag for the underside of your hammock. Okay, so the way this Under-Hammock Quilt goes on is actually pretty self-explanatory. You just tighten these sections here, and then once you get it to your desired level or approximate range, you take this and you slip it around the carabiner, holding up this end of your hammock. And then this buckle simply goes over the hammock itself, just right here. And so we're all tight. Now, let's go do the other side. And I can already see that this is not close enough to that side because I pulled it too tight on the other side. So I'm gonna go loosen that and take up some slack on this side to kind of even it out. And one thing I learned is that you definitely want these about as loose as you can get them on here because you want this to kind of hang with the hammock. You don't want it to be tight in any way. And you just have to take your time to work the hammock and the mattress inside of this insulated cover. These are actually for a different style of tent, so they're not going to apply to every single hammock tent, but ours does not have attachments for these, so we're just going to let them dangle. But you'll see that it looks really nice, and you can tell that's a really well insulated hammock there. You would stay really warm. It feels nice and cozy and tight. It feels more like a formed hammock. Not quite a lay flat, but it feels much more formed this way. I really, really like that idea. So if you were really cold, you could add one more thing to make this the ultimate cold weather camping machine, and that is a sleeping bag inside here. And here is the final accessory. It is the hammock sleeping bag from Nightcat. If it's anything like the other items, I would say it fits seamlessly right into the hammock. It does feel a little smaller than a regular sleeping bag because, I mean, look how small this bag is. So we're just gonna pull it out here, see how well it fits inside. Full disclosure, it's about 65, 70 degrees right now, so I'm already a little hot, and getting inside of this just makes me feel a little sweaty. But I'm gonna do it for you. I'm gonna do it for the video. A little hard to get out of this bag. So here it is, got the Nightcat logo on one side, kind of a two-tone design, green and gray. Got your rating down here, 5, 10, 15 degrees Celsius. Let's go ahead and put it in the hammock and see how it fits. And in case you were born yesterday, I would put the side with the hole down by your pillow, so your head can go there. We got a little Velcro section over top of our main zipper in case you want to zip yourself in there. So I guess now all that's left is for me to get in there and be sweaty. All right, for this one, I am going to take my shoes off. Okay. All right, I'll zip myself up just for you. Oh yeah, that actually fits. Dare I say perfectly. Heated insulated bottom. You got your sleeping bag on top. You got your mattress above the insulated bottom, which makes you even cozier. And you could pull up the top and zip in case you were even colder. Throw your rain cover over the top. I mean, There's a lot of great options for this hammock. This would make hammock camping really comfortable and fun. And so far on the initial setup, everything seems to go with this hammock perfectly. I know Nightcat has several different types of hammocks that these kind of go for, and it all seems to fit this model of hammock really well. And I think that this is probably a good way to get started if you're ready to go hammock camping and it's not quite summertime yet. You could buy some of these accessories, make it livable and comfortable during the shoulder season, or get rid of all of them, sleep open air, just use your rain fly, and you'll be good to go for the middle of summer. All right, I absolutely have to get out of this. I'm starting to sweat. And just one last thing to mention, everything did go right back in the bag that it came in without any struggle. So we've got everything right where it belongs and it packs back in the bag. Trust me, that is a big deal. So thanks for hanging out. Get it? Hammock hanging out with me in this video? Yeah, never mind. Thanks for watching this video. I think these are some really cool products that you can put with a camping hammock to make them more fun and more usable in different types of weather. I'm gonna put links to all this gear in the description down below. Go check it out for yourself if you are interested. As always, my name is Joel. This is the Traveler Toolkit, and I will see you in the next video.